To help us identify which teams are racing up and which teams are skidding towards trouble in the PBA Commissioner's Cup, PBA analyst Charles Tiu joins us in the studio tonight. Good evening, Charles, and welcome back to Sports Desk.
Good evening, Cheska, Miko. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for honoring us with your presence, Charles, and please share your expertise with us tonight. Let's start with Kiev. Kiev just beat Talk and Text. Of course, at this point, people are actually no longer surprised that they are scoring upsets in the PBA. How are they doing it?
PJ Ramos.
PJ Ramos.
He's the biggest guy in the whole PBA right now. He's a dominant force inside. He can score. He commands a double team. He rebounds the ball pretty well. He's been getting 20 rebounds. And, you know, his teammates have actually stepped up. I think they've added a few pieces, some veterans. You know, Leo Avenido, Marquis. Then you have Eddie Revilla playing well. Even a guy you mentioned, Hiram Bagatsing, out of nowhere. I mean, adding 21 points. So different guys are starting to step up. Of course, they're also more familiar. I mean, they've had one conference under their belt. These guys are, you know, used to playing in the spotlight right now. So they've improved. But, you know, definitely the biggest reason is PJ Ramos.
Speaking of being in the spotlight, of course, Coach Manny Pacquiao is very much in the spotlight nowadays. Should he stop playing for now because of the fight?
Oh, for sure. I really wish. I mean, I heard he's going to play one more game this Saturday. But I'm worried if he sprains his ankle. I mean, oh, please, I'd rather he just focus on the fight. And, you know, he can play basketball after this fight. But, you know, the fans are lucky that they get to see him live. And I'm sure everybody's going to want to see him before he, you know, goes full on his training and before he leaves.
Okay, let's go to other teams. While they're scoring upsets, one of Kia's victims was San Miguel, and San Miguel is you know, languishing at the tail end of the team standings, which, you know, still surprises a lot of people. Can you give us reasons as to why San Miguel you know, is having problems so far in the Commissioner's Cup?
I think for one, you know, what they call that championship hangover, it's definitely there right now. I mean, they poured everything in that last conference. They had a very hard final series against Alaska. They went all in, and then after a very short time, they had to prepare for the next conference already. I mean, get used to their imports. Now they've changed imports already. And then another reason why is, you know, Arwin Santos, Marshall Laster, guys who were so used to seeing play very well. MVP, Arwin Santos, Marshall, among the premier guards in the league. They're not playing at the same level we're used to seeing from them. Their production has dipped for one reason or another. So, you know, maybe the team has to figure out a way to integrate them both. Of course, it's tough for Arwin. You know, he plays the same position as both their imports. I mean, it was Roberts and then AZ Reed right now. So it's very tough. And then lastly, I mean, they haven't been hitting from three-point range. They're a very good three-point shooting team. And that really opens things up for a guy like Junmar Fajardo. He commands double teams. But if you can't make your shots, it's really tough. I mean, they went 1 for 24 in one game. It's tough to win when you shoot like that from three-point range. In another game, they're 5 for 24. So this team's a very good three-point shooting team. Everybody can shoot. But, you know, when you're struggling, it's tough. It changes the whole game.
One team that's bounced back is Ginebra. What happened to this team? Everyone was questioning what was going on, and then all of a sudden they've been winning games.
Well, they've really improved. I think, you know, that they're used to playing with each other. Michael Dunnigan's been a great fit. They've learned to play together with Greg Slaughter. If you look at it, they've lost 3 games, but 2 of those games, 1 point. One to Barako, and then Jason Castro hit a buzzer beater to beat them. They could easily be at the top of the league together with Meralco. I mean, Dunnigan, Slaughter, they're playing very well. You throw in Japeth, who, you know, is playing like a role player right now. I mean, he knows what the team expects from him. He's doing the little things to help the team. And another thing I think's really impressed me with Ginebra is that they're sharing the ball. You throw in a guy like Eman Montfort, who really is a team-first guy. He's not going to look for his shot. He'll make the best pass at the right timing to the right player. And, you know, guys are moving the ball. You can see it in a couple of games. They've had over 20 assists. I mean, the ball is moving well, and you couldn't say that about them before. And, you know, lastly, I see them really pressuring full court. I mean, maybe Coach Atos imposed this on them. Even guys like L.A. Tenorio, Mark Aguiwa, they're pressuring all the way. And I saw that very clearly against Pure Foods. Usually we see Pure Foods with Melton, Baroka being the guys to pressure. But in that game, it was the guards of Ginebra really pressuring full court and giving them a hard time. And then they just won again tonight against Blackwater behind another stellar performance from L.A. Tenorio.
Well, you mentioned L.A. Blackwater actually kept this game close. They had a late rally. L.A. hitting some clutch shots as well as quarterbacking well towards the stretch. I mean, and LA has had a sort of love-hate relationship with Ginebra fans. You know, when Ginebra struggles, parang siya yung una-una nakikita, but then when Ginebra's winning, best friends siya ulit with, with
Yeah,
people
it's tough to
supporting
be
Ginebra.
LA, especially when they ask him to be a facilitator sometimes. So he's not going to force a shot. I mean, maybe before they're so used to seeing those big scoring performances from him, but we haven't really had those in a while. Of course, he can still score, but I think he's balanced a bit more, and what the team needs is what he does.
All right. Well, let's talk about the rest of the league from now on. Which teams do you think we should? I mean, obviously we have Kia, who's been scoring upsets. But what other teams should we expect to go up or maintain their status, or maybe possibly fall?
Interesting for me is that I think Pure Foods is definitely going to go up. I mean, they've had some tough losses. Of course, they've missed some key players, James Yap, Malik C. So they're a bit depleted right now. They just got Bulls back, but I think they're going to improve, definitely. Meralco's a bit of an interest for me. Of course, their import got hurt in their last game, so we're going to have to see how he performs. And it would be a shame if he has to miss some time because they're playing so well. And also, I think Rain or Shine with Wayne Chisholm, who's been their import previously. He's in great shape right now. I think they're looking good. They're a bit under the radar. No one's really talking about them, but they've been winning some games.
I think Rain or Shine is used to being under the radar, but Barako Bull is one of those teams that are in the upper bracket of the team standings, and people are probably wondering, okay, is this team in the Commissioner's Cup for real? Can they actually make a push, towards, let's say, like the top four?
I think they're a very solid team right now. They have a good mix of veterans. I mean, Sol Mercado's there. He can take over at any time. Their import's a big guy too, Alabi. And one thing I think that they really have an advantage in is that they had a long time to prepare. They started the preparation for this conference much earlier. Then you have guys like Marcelo who's starting to step up, really find his groove, Jake Pascual. And R.R. Garcia has been playing really well for Barako. So they have a solid team and a good mix of veterans, a good mix of young guys. Another guy, Carlo Lastimosa. So they're tough and they play solid defense. They have a big guy, Alabi, to patrol the lane. Not really the best import in terms of scoring, but he's good enough for them.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Charles. We'll have you back for Fan Speak later on. We want to pick your brain as well.
Okay.